Everyone, it's Shaki Brown back again. It's been a while. This morning I was meditating. I should be meditating for a few days on 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 1, 2, 3. And I got verses 1, 2, and 3 committed to memory already, just by simply meditating on them. And then today, I tested myself on verse 1, 2, and 3 to make sure I really knew them. And then I went down to verse 4, which says, love suffers long and is kind. And it's just meditating on that. And my wife had gone out for the morning, and then she came back, and I was still meditating because I actually have a system. And this particular system I was doing is called meditative exercising. So I was doing like my exercising, and in my rest time I was meditating on this particular scripture, and I wanted to rush through to get to the end of that particular verse 4, but I just really sensed that I needed to stay on the love suffers long and is kind. Like, I've already heard that scripture, that part of the scripture before. It also says love is patient and love is kind, and I wanted to go past that. But I was so glad that because I meditate on scripture, I'm so glad that I've done that in the past, that I know when to just don't rush through this, just take your time on that. So I did that this morning, and even verse 1, 2, and 3, I got some pretty good stuff out of that as well. The illumination I got out of that is really, really good. But I just want to just touch on verse 4 about love suffers long. So by love suffering long, what that means is that you're not being impatient. You're waiting. You're waiting. You're waiting. You're just doing whatever you have to do, and you're continuing to do that thing that you have to do without being impatient. And is kind. So love is patient and is kind. So all this stuff actually ties in. For some reason, whenever I'm meditating on scripture, it always comes back to health and nutrition, back to food and exercising. So, and is kind. It doesn't matter what is thrown against it. It always responds in kindness. So love. It doesn't matter what is thrown against it, what is spoken against it. Its response is always kindness. And that, what I got out of this too, was the suffers long and is kind. They're together. It's not separated. They're together. By suffering long and having kindness, they are together. Its kindness, love's kindness, is not dependent on others. It's by love responding in kindness. It's not dependent on the way that you act, the way that you talk. It has nothing to do with that. Love will always be kind. It will always act, respond in kindness, regardless of what you do, whatever you throw against it. And that's the way we're supposed to be acting. And as I was meditating on that, and this really hit me, that Jesus was on the cross. I mean, he was nailed to the cross. I mean, come on, talk about pain, agony, and in all of that, insults being thrown at him, what did he do? He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So in that position, he responded with kindness. I mean, the man was being crucified, and yet he responded in kindness. That's how love acts. That's how love responds. You can neither stop it or encourage it to be kind. You can't stop love from being kind. You can't encourage it to be more kind. Love just is kind. Bottom line, love is kind, period. That's it. You can't change it. And as I was still meditating on that, I was reminded of Jesus in the scripture where it says, the same yesterday, today, and forever. It never changes. Love never changes. So suffering long while, and I wrote this down because it just sounded good. Suffering long while exhibiting kindness. That's the whole unit there. You're suffering long while at the same time you're exhibiting kindness. That's the unit. And so while I was meditating on this, wife came in, and just begin to share some of the illumination that I got out of the scripture. Then I began to get into the exercise part. That when you exercise, this is what I said to her. When you're exercising, you are being kind to yourself. Whenever you put this body under pressure, that is, it's suffering, doing push-ups, lifting weights, running, whatever, you're putting pressure on the body, you're actually loving yourself. And then my wife piped up and said this is why, scripture says two are better than one. She said, oh yeah, and eating right too is also loving yourself. Whenever you say no to that chocolate bar, no to that deep fried chicken that's been deep fried in oil, and you say no to it, what are you doing? You're actually loving yourself by allowing your body to take in something that is nutritionally good for it. When you say no to the bad stuff and yes to the good things. So by eating right and exercising, you are loving yourself. And that's what I wanted to drop on you today. Eat right. I mean, you find it all over the scriptures. Like I said, I'm just meditating on 1 Corinthians 13, and it went all the way back to health again. And exercising again. It's like, I can't escape it. I can't escape it. Anyways, my name is Shaka Brown. Gone way over the time. God bless you. Any questions, comments, please drop them right here. See you soon.